The Great Illusion. Self-perception and suffering emerge through 8 patterns of vibration. What if everything perceived through sight, sound, touch, smell and taste is not real? What if the solid ground appearing beneath feet, the very sensation of existence itself, are all elaborate constructions arising within consciousness? 2,500 years ago. Beneath the Bodhi tree, Lord Buddha completely shattered the illusion of reality, revealing something so remarkable, the liberation of mind that ceases all suffering. Today, while quantum physicists work tirelessly to unlock the deepest secrets of reality, Lord Buddha already revealed these profound truths 2,500 years ago. What science is desperately searching for, the theory of everything, has been here all along. This isn't just about particles and forces. This is about consciousness itself, about why suffering arises, and about the fundamental nature of all existence. This isn't philosophy. This isn't religion. This is the most extraordinary science ever discovered by Lord Buddha, timeless truth itself and the path to absolute freedom. So the question arises, will you continue living in the beautiful, tragic illusion, or will you discover what's really behind the curtain of ignorance? The choice emerges in this very moment. The door to liberation stands open, but beware, once this truth reveals itself, there's no desire to return to the dream that was once mistaken for reality. Chapter 1. The 8 Patterns of Vibrations. To understand Lord Buddha's revelation, the journey must begin at the very foundation of existence itself. While modern science has reached the level of quarks and leptons, struggling towards string theory, Lord Buddha perceived something far more fundamental. These were called the 8 patterns of vibrations. In Buddha's words, Shuddhastika, the ultimate building blocks of all experience: solidity, liquidity, fire, air, color, smell, taste, and sound or speed. These are not physical properties as commonly understood, but vibrational patterns so infinitesimally small that they exist beyond the limit of current scientific instrumentations and abilities. Everything, from the distant galaxies to thoughts arising, is composed of these same 8 fundamental vibrations. The flower in the garden, the eye that perceives it, even the consciousness that recognizes beauty, all emerge from these same fundamental energy patterns. But here lies the first great revelation. What is called the world is not a collection of separate objects floating in space. It is a symphony of vibrations, creating the grand illusion of separateness. Chapter 2. The Great Deception of the Senses. Observe now, as the most startling truth of existence unfolds. When the eye encounters a flower, the appearance arises of seeing something external, something out there. But this is where the great deception begins. The flower consists of countless 8 patterns of vibrations. The eye, too, is constructed from these same fundamental patterns. When these vibrations align, resonance occurs, like 2 tuning forks responding to each other's frequency. In that moment of resonance, billions of vibrations collapse into what is called eye consciousness. But here is the crucial point. The eye possesses no data whatsoever about any external flower. The only creation is the vibration of eye consciousness itself. What appears as seeing is not perception of something outside. It is the arising of an entirely new vibrational pattern, eye consciousness. The same process unfolds with each of the senses. The ear consciousness arises, emphasizing the sound property of the eightfold vibrations. Body consciousness emerges, highlighting solidity, liquidity, and temperature. Smell consciousness and taste consciousness each contribute their unique vibrational signatures. According to the Buddha's words, Rupa, eye consciousness is the form vibration. Similarly, ear consciousness, body consciousness, smell consciousness, and taste consciousness are also form vibrations. Yet each of these consciousnesses, taken alone, creates no meaningful experience. The mystery deepens. How does meaning arise from these separate streams of vibration? Chapter 3. The Architecture of Illusion. Consider this remarkable demonstration. When the word apple is spoken, observe what unfolds. Instantaneously, multiple vibrations arise simultaneously. The visual pattern called redness, the sound associated with the word apple, the sound of crispness, the taste of sweetness, the fresh scent, the firm texture. But more than this, emotions emerge, memories surface. Perhaps the face of someone who once shared an apple appears. According to Lord Buddha's words, the color pattern, sound, scent, taste, touch and texture are form vibrations, rupa. In Lord Buddha's words, memories, emotions, and feelings are called the name vibrations, nama. The name vibration arises at the very moment instantly without lingering to past or leaving any trace to future. In this context, the name vibration telepathizes right at the moment. The fusion of the form vibration and the name vibration construct the mind consciousness. This is the birth of mind consciousness, the sixth gateway that synthesizes all others. In Lord Buddha's profound phrase, Salayatthana Loko Loko, the world is constructed through six gateways: eye, ear, tongue, nose, body, and mind. Beyond these six gateways, there exists no data about any external world. The apple that seems so real, so solid, so definitely out there, is actually a complex vibration arising as the mind consciousness. It is not a thing at all. It is a process where all the sensory vibrations come together and fuse to construct the apple perception, which is the mind consciousness. We call this vibration the mind spark. Chithina niyati loko, declared Lord Buddha. The world is constructed by momentary mental perceptions. Everything experienced is a mental formation, arising and passing away. Chapter 4. The Birth of Self-Existence, Feel and Suffering. Now the approach to the heart of suffering begins. Through ignorance of this fundamental truth, the apple perception becomes real. It seems to exist independently, solid and separate from the perceiver. And in that moment of believing in its separate existence, the sense of me, the perceiver, arises. When me enters the equation, attachment inevitably follows, and with attachment suffering arises. Consider this vivid example. The discovery occurs of a favorite variety of apple at the farmer's market. Several are purchased, with anticipation of the evening pleasure of tasting them. They are placed carefully on the countertop, with the savoring of anticipation. Hours later, busy with the demands of life, the return happens to find nothing. The apples have vanished. What arises within the thought or mind consciousness? Frustration, anger, regret. The underlying power emerges within the mind consciousness vibration. This power is felt as the frustration, anger, and regret. A cascade of suffering moments arises and ceases. Why? Because the apple had become a thing within the perception, which is the extra weight felt within the thought apple, and there was a self present to feel the loss. This extra burden or the weight felt is the power of the mind-consciousness vibration, and this is what felt as the self-existence feel. This is a natural phenomenon that occurs through the convergence of rapidly arising vibrations. Power emerges within these oscillations themselves. There is no one behind this mechanism and no one who perceives it. Only the spontaneous arising and ceasing of mind sparks, appearing and dissolving. What if the apple is understood as it truly is? A natural process of arising and ceasing of mind sparks or the perceptions, arising and passing away like clouds in an empty sky. When this truth is known, where is the me that could suffer? The apple perception may still arise, but that extra burden or the weight doesn't arise within. So the self-existence feeling dissolves. The process continues until the sensory faculties cease functioning, but suffering ends because there is no separate self present to suffer. Chapter 5. The Path to Liberation. This is not merely philosophical speculation. This is the precise mechanics of liberation from suffering, what Lord Buddha called Nibbana. When the illusion of separate selfhood is seen through, when the world is understood as the arising of mind sparks rather than a collection of external objects, there is no space for suffering to arise. The flower still blooms in the garden of super-awareness. The apple still provides nourishment to the body. Colors still dance within the eye. Sounds still resonate in ear consciousness. The apple perception is still perceived, but there is no separate entity to grasp at them, no isolated self to lose them, no individual being to suffer their absence. This understanding requires neither faith nor belief. It demands only the courage to look directly at experience itself, to see through the elaborate construction of separateness that consciousness creates moment by moment. The noble disciples who walk this path seek only truth. They do not linger in misconceptions or cling to comfortable illusions. With genuine effort, they investigate the process of nature until the mind recognizes its own liberation. Final chapter. The Buddha's timeless gift. "2,500 years ago, Lord Buddha penetrated completely through the illusion of self-existence. Though no Nobel Prize was received, no worldly recognition granted, Lord Buddha offered humanity the most precious gift imaginable, the Dharma, the precise mechanism of how suffering emerges and the method for ending suffering. Today, as quantum physics approaches these same insights, as neuroscience maps the constructed nature of perception, Lord Buddha's revelation proves more relevant than ever. Countless individuals have followed this understanding to liberate the mind, ending their cycle of rebirth. This truth stands present now, not as ancient philosophy or religious doctrine, but as the most practical science of consciousness ever discovered. The question remains, will you continue living in the beautiful, tragic illusion of self-preservation, or will you begin the investigation of the natural phenomena itself? The choice is yours. The door to liberation stands open for you. Lord Buddha merely pointed the way. The rest is up to the awakening that has no center, no extremes, and ultimately, no one there to be awakened. Awaken to the timeless truth within, and be liberated from illusion.